Well, just about 4 days ago, I reported about that swearing in that happened in Sudan, Nyala, where the RSF took oath of office from the president, Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo Hemeti, to the vice president, the prime minister, and they even had a meeting for the first council. Well, new information is pointing to the direction that that particular event did not take place in Sudan or Nyala. It took place in Nairobi, Kenya. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you about that information that is reaching us right now, as well as what does it mean for Kenya and Sudan that a second meeting could have happened in Kenya, and this time, the formation of a parallel government of Sudan. Well, this is Bonafide. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe and hit that notification button so that when I release something new on Sudan, you get notified as soon as possible. Well, new information as reported by Deport 24 alleges that the swearing in of the RSF did not take place in Nyala nor Sudan. It took place in Nairobi, Kenya. Well, this will be the second high-stakes meeting of the RSF ever to take place in Kenya. The first meeting was the agreement that there will be a formation of a parallel government of Sudan. Well, right now, there is new information that the swearing in of that particular government actually took place in Kenya. And further to this information, that particular event was not live. It was a pre-recorded event that took place a week ago. And it is not only the swearing in that was pre-recorded, even the first council meeting took place a week ago and was pre-recorded in Nairobi, Kenya. That particular meeting was then broadcasted by RSF media earlier this week as an event that happened this week. But someone will ask, there were photos of the sworn-in president and the vice president holding hands and waving at people in Darfur after the swearing in. Well, it turns out that after the ceremony, the president, the vice president, some of the council members and the prime minister reportedly traveled back to Nyala, South Darfur. However, some figures, including Dr. Mohamed Yusuf Ahmed Al-Mustafa, Dr. Hulod, Joseph Tuka, and Mabruk Mubarak did not join them. This being the second high-stakes meeting that has happened in Kenya by the RSF, of course, diplomatic tensions are going to increase between Kenya and Sudan. In the first meeting, the Sudanese government pointed fingers at Kenya and the Kenyan government and say that the Kenyan government and the president, William Ruto, has been assisting the RSF technically and also militarily to fight against the Sudanese army. Well, right now, if this particular allegation is true, then the diplomatic tensions between Kenya and Sudan are bound to escalate. Well, by Kenya giving audience to the RSF, not even by giving any statement, it is message enough that Kenya could in one way be supporting the group. And therefore, the Sudanese government led by Al-Burhan could as well say that Kenya is interfering in the internal affairs of Sudan, and that, of course, will now escalate the tensions between Kenya and Sudan. Further, international organizations will be very keen to watch if Kenya is taking any sides or just facilitating, because Kenya can as well say that it is just facilitating this particular group to form its own government so that there can be a peaceful negotiation between the RSF and the Sudanese army. In its own part, Kenya can say that this is a step towards mending the ties between these two rivals. But going with the first tone that Sudan gave Kenya after the RSF met at KICC to have that resolution to form a government, it will not be all rosy for the Kenya-Sudan relations after this particular oath-taking, if at all it is confirmed that it happened in Nairobi, Kenya. Well, I will continue to keep you informed of the latest of what will come out between Kenya and Sudan regarding this swearing in of the RSF leaders that is alleged to have happened in Nairobi, Kenya. Keep it Bonafide.